Hey pilots, welcome to another exciting episode of War Robots Domination, a series of helpful gameplay tutorials designed to help highlight the tactics and strategies that I use to help tip the scales in my favorite game, War Robots. Each episode will feature a handful of battles along with helpful commentary that'll provide insight as to what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. I'm your host, Gotchure Beacons, and I've been playing this awesome game for a few years now, and I've learned a few tricks along the way that I'd love to share with y'all. You'll notice that although my hangar is fairly basic and at lower levels, I've been able to climb it up to Expert League, so I believe that you'll find my tactics will help you do more with less, which can be very helpful with today's economy in the game. I should also mention that this is my second account, so don't let my career profile stats fool you. This is actually my baby account, but it sends a great message to pilots who feel they need to chase the current meta in order to be competitive in battle, because you don't. Wise gameplay can usually overcome any fancy gimmick. A death button is a great example. It can still melt just about any build, and its heritage stems all the way back to nearly the beginning of the game. It's all about knowing when to use it and how to use it. So, without further ado, I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy today's episodes while I walk you through my gameplay tactics and share with you my mindset in battle. I hope you find it entertaining, helpful, and fun to watch. I think you will. Let's start this show by introducing the boys that make all the noise, my wrecking crews. We got the old guard and the new recruits. Let's start with the new recruits. These boys are fresh on the scene. First, we got Stinger, my Exodus Pedata Strider. And then we got Flash, my Gust Halo Pursuer. And then we got Jumpstart, my Talumba Calamity Inquisitor. And then we got Freezer Burn, my Shredder Ember Mercury. And then we got Major Pain, my beautiful Zeus Fury. Now these bots are all level 6, the weapons are anywhere from 7 to 9. And then we got the old guard, everyone's favorites. Don't forget about them, they're part of the show. First we got Frick, my Death Button Raven with Orkans and Panadas. And then we got his twin brother Prack, my Russian Death Button Raven with Talumbas and Pins. And then we got the General with my beautiful Trident Fury. And then we got Reaper, my Avenger Bulwark. And then we got everyone's favorite Buzzkill, my Spark Scourged Mender. Now these bots are a level 6 and all their weapons are a level 9. Now these boys have climbed their ranks all the way up to Master 3, so make sure you cheer them on out there in the battlefield because they're fighting way above their weight class. Alright guys, let's get this party started. I'm going to title this battle, Don't Spill Your Candy, and I'm going to explain here in a second. Enjoy my friends in the background and status as they play their awesome song, Theta. I'll make sure there's a link to their website for Spotify on the description of this episode. So this is Castle. I'm taking my Major Pain. This is the new recruits, guys, and I'm going to take Major Pain on over. He's my beautiful Zeus Fury, and he's going to help guard and support this bridge beacon and take off any threats either right or left. This is a great Fury sweet spot. So I'm calling this battle Don't Spill Your Candy. And there's an old saying. It goes like this. It says, don't spill your candy in the lobby. It refers to the boy who goes to the movies and buys some candy and some sweets at the concession stand, and he's so excited to get into the movie that he runs and he trips and he spills his candy all over the lobby, and he's got to go to the movie without any candy. That sucks. You know what? I see a lot of that in battles today. Believe it or not, I see a lot of battles that end where a handful of pilots get hardly any score, and they don't do much damage at all, and they mech out early. And you know what? It's one thing to kind of guard a beacon and, you know, do your job, but it's another thing to kind of go burning through 5 ample, adequate builds and show nothing for it at the end. That's what happens when you spill your candy in the lobby. So many pilots out there are running and gunning. They really don't have a plan of attack. They really don't formulate any kind of strategy or pacing or tacting. They just run around and shoot at anything that moves. And I'll tell you what, guys, so working around like that is not doing your team any good whatsoever. Because what they're counting on you to be there from the beginning to the end. You can't cap or kill when you're dead, right? So you make sure that you stay alive and don't spill your candy in the lobby. You know, kind of figure out where the pace of the battle is going, figure out how you can team up with your mates, figure out how you can kind of do some things here and there to be formidable. Use cover, use strategy. But if you find you're one of those pilots that's always meching out early and you see halfway into the battle, you're always sitting on the sidelines watching to see how the rest of it ends, you know what? I'm not sure how fun that really is. You know, it's really fun to take the battle all the way through. And yeah, you might be paced in or matched in over your head, but look at me. I'm taking level 6 spots into Masters, and I'm not a heck of a brawler. I'm really not. I just pace myself, you know. I use structure. I don't just jump right on into certain depth. You know, I kind of figure out where I can kind of plan my attacks and pick my battles and choose who I'm going to fight against and who I'm not. And if I'm going to mech out against these two guys, you know what? That's okay. I've got other bots. But you know what? If this was at the end of the battle, I would have been a lot more conservative there. But this is kind of still in the middle, and I've got lots of bots to go. So I'm going to be ready to that. Don't spill your candy in the lobby. Make sure that when you're out there, you're kind of figuring out the strategy and the pacing of the battle. And, you know, if you're starting to run out, slow down, back up. You know, what's going on right now is we are absolutely melting through these guys. This is Expert League, which means our Masters. So these are experts and champions with all MK1, probably level 10 to 11 to 12 bots out there and equipment, and they're very, very durable. And yet, look at the other team. You've got 5 of them that did under 500,000. Now, that's fun if you're capping and holding a beacon or running around and getting taken out, but after a while, you need to start backing up. I mean, there's no way they should all be meched out early in the battle and end up with, you know, under 500,000 scores. So if you find that you're one of those guys, you're spilling your candy in the lobby. Back up, man. Hey, if you see your name, thanks for the game. Peace out now. I'm going to call this battle, it's a numbers game, and boy is it ever. I'll explain here in a second. Enjoy my friends in the background and citizens as they play their awesome song, Woodish. So this is Castle. We're playing with the old guard right now. This is the General, my beautiful Trident Fury. I'm going to take him over here to the this little Fury sweet spot and help support the bridge and help my mates get down there and cap that one blue. I'm calling this battle, it's a numbers game, and boy, this is a numbers game in so many ways. One of them is what I'm doing right now. I am always checking numbers on the ranges of my opponents here. I'm always cycling through using my lockdown button there at the bottom of your target thing. You use that to cycle from one to the next, and by locking it in, you can hold it, and you can start watching where the range is on these opponents of yours, and see where they're at, make sure that you can get them, and also use that range to stay out of range of their weaponry if you can. Always use that. Someone asked me the other day, should I put the lock on it? I'm like, how do you play without it? That's part of being a pilot here, is using the range to your advantage. Another thing about numbers is there are power in numbers, and the Reds know that. Right now, my team is starting to make an offensive to the right or the left side over there. And so what I did is I saw some of the Reds going down to the bridge. I hopped to the left to actually act as another number heading off in that direction. By doing so, you saw some of the Reds actually start drifting away from the bridge. That, I went back. I did this as a diversionary tactic, and what I did is it gave us a little bit of a more balance at the bridge to help take it over. It's all about the numbers, you know, and this is something that you always want to be mindful of is you know, that balance of power is all in the numbers. And, you know, ranges are part of the numbers. Right now, I'm grabbing this one. This is a sacrifice run, but by capping this one blue, it's going to force a couple of Reds over here to get it back. And by getting them over there, again, it takes some pressure off the other side. By balancing the numbers out, this is absolutely a numbers game. By using the numbers wisely, the range that you're using your targeting to figure out those ranges, figuring out the numbers of pilots on either side and going off in either direction toward a certain hot spot or a beacon allows you to decide what you need to do from a piloting standpoint to come up with a strategy or a tactic. When you're on there, another number is your health damage, and you know, watching the amount of damage you have left, and whether or not you should pick off a sliver bot or a heavy duty one. It just depends on what your guys are doing. Here's another number you guys are all gonna see here in a second. Damage. And if you don't have all the numbers, you gotta make sure that you're doing your damage. You also have to make sure that you're picking off beacons. We did a lot more beacons than they did. That's another number, you know, and all these things add up at the end. I don't have high-level power bots. I don't have high-level power equipment. Most of these guys in there are much higher level than me, but I'm still able to do pretty good because I kind of pay attention to all these things. So if you see your name, thanks for the game. I hope you learned about the numbers now. Peace out. Okay, going to take a look at this week's skirmish hanger. If you're on the team with the 5 players, you've got a Fury, a Butch, a Strider, a Hellburner, and a Riker. If you're on the team with 3 pilots, you have, I think, Bulwarks, Ravens, and maybe a Pursuer. I'm really not sure because I've never been on one. I'm calling this battle. Just do your best. Enjoy my friends in the background and status as they play their awesome song, November. So this is this week's skirmish. And, you know, I'm really not a fan. I'll be honest with you right up front. I've played about 3 or 4 of these, and each and every time I'm on the team with the 5 pilots, I've never been on the team with the 3 pilots. I've also had a couple of them that didn't load. You know, I like the fact that Pixonic is trying to get creative with these skirmishes and giving us some, you know, some exotic builds to try out. And I'll tell you what, some of the most fun battles I've been in have been skirmish battles because they really get clever with their exotic builds. This week they tried something different. They tried to incorporate a storyline that they brought into the War Robot lore, and now they're weaving this skirmish around that story. It sounds all cool and all, but I gotta tell you something. Skirmish is a whole bunch of pilots from every rank, from low bronze all the way up to high champ, using equipment that they really don't know how to play with. And when you're putting that kind of stress already on a skirmish for a pilot who's just handling equipment that they don't even know how to use, then you got to throw some kind of a weird, awkward balance where you have high OP bots on one side, but fewer of them, and then you've got a bunch of lower level bots on the other side. I think it just kind of gets a little too fancy. There's been a couple of battles where they didn't even want to load for me. There's a couple battles where every single one of these ones, I've always been on this one, it's always team deathmatch. And well, I think some pilots are out there having fun, but I think there's some out there going, what in the world is this? I like a balanced, a balanced battle where at least each side is, at least dealing with the same amount of kind of equipment. And that's one thing I do like about the skirmishes, is to get everyone an equal footing, and it's just a matter of who brings their skill. But when you got these, rookie pilots out there trying to play with equipment that they don't even know the mechanics of them, and they're trying to have a formidable game, it just adds a little more frustration when they're also playing against unbalanced pilots on the other side. So I love the creativity side of things, but I also am not so sure that this week was such a great skirmish. But I went ahead and recorded this one so you can see the pilots out there, or the bots out there, and kind of get an idea of what the premise of this week's skirmish was. Maybe you like it. But it's always going to be a team deathmatch. It's always going to be a matter of 5 against 3. I think the 3 are higher power builds, but they're still being surrounded by 5 mates. I'm in my Dragoon Fury right now. Hey, I'm a Fury pilot. Put 3 Dragoons on me, and let's see what happens in Canyon. The Fury's favorite, map. Forget about it. I don't know how anyone's gonna do anything. So far, if you looked at my damage, I haven't taken a scratch. I'm just keeping my ranges where they need to be, where I don't get too close to anything. I'm also staying nearby cover. I'm, shooting in between little cracks and crevices where those guys are at. My team's walking right up close and personal. I still play my game, but you know what? This has been so far just an easy win, but I've also seen it swing the other way when you got pilots that don't know how to use the equipment. They're using their Hellburners and killing themselves. So, there is a lot of variety when you play skirmish. This week's skirmish concept, I'm not so sure was a hit. I think I've seen a lot of Facebook input on it. Other people are loving it. Other people are not liking it. This is one of those hit and misses, but that's what skirmish is. But as always, guys, just go out there and do your best. Try to have some fun. Remember, it doesn't account against your career stats. So if you see your name, thanks for the game. Peace out. Well, friends, that just about wraps it up for another episode. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed what you saw and were able to take something you learned and use it in battle. I add content to my YouTube channel almost daily, so please stop by when you're able and check out the fresh new material. Or just click on an old episode and maybe catch another tip that'll help you up your game. If you like what you see, please tap on the red subscription button and then tap the bell to be notified when new episodes are released. It would also be helpful if you could make a comment about the video, whether it's an example of how the episode helped you, or maybe additional advice to help elaborate on the tactics I shared, or even constructive comments that'll help clarify something I might have missed. It's all good and greatly appreciated. Finally, This game is full of challenges and can create frustration for some who are simply trying to have fun with this awesome game. My goal is to provide you all with helpful information and help reduce the frustration and increase the fun. So, if you feel these videos are helping you, please share them with a friend, someone who you think might benefit from them. Well, that's about it for today, guys. As always, keep them blue out there, and I hope to see you on the battlefield. Make sure you're having fun, though, because if you're not, you're doing it wrong. I love you all for your support. Play well. Peace out.